So hello everyone and welcome back. Today we've got a few updates and so as you can see behind me, I have another new project car. Now, this was a surprise even to myself. I literally saw it on eBay and I had to buy it. Ever since I was 18 years old when I had one of these originally, that was the only car I regret selling. And I really, really wanted another one. So when I saw one in Norwich for the price that it was at, I had to buy it and it got delivered 2 days ago. Now, there's obviously a few other bits and pieces that I need to get done before I can start on this. First of all is the TT. Now, there's a few updates with the TT, which I'll go through now. You guys would have known this car, since I put it back together, does not like to start. It's just really slow, really sluggish. Once it's running, it runs absolutely fine. However, I have now replaced the camshaft position sensor. The new one is actually in place, and yet it still hasn't solved the issue. So sadly, I've gone as far as I really want to. I can't keep chucking parts at it. I've plugged it into my code reader that I've got available to myself, and only that one fault code has appeared. Since I've actually replaced this camshaft position sensor, that fault has gone, but it's still not starting properly. So the only thing I have left to do is to let a garage take a proper look. Now, LRP is going to be kind enough to come and collect it from me this week, and then hopefully spend a bit of time trying to diagnose the problem. I have bought a second-hand engine just in case the worst is confirmed and it does need replacing. I wanted to do that from the start, however I changed my mind and said, do you know what, I really want this original engine still in place. However, it might not be possible, so I'll have to wait and see what they say. So here we go, the next project. As you can see, it has been left and unloved for quite some time. I think the guy said it's been sat in his field or sat in his yard for the last 10 months. And I think before then, it's obviously been stood for a long period of time because it hasn't had an MOT since 2007. It's obviously got bits of tree in the grills. It's got no wiper blades. Sadly, it has a rather deflated rear tyre. I have tried to put air in it, but I'm pretty sure there's a hole in the sidewall around the back. More bits of tree that have been left on the paintwork. It has, however, got some really good features. So it's got a custom Powerflow exhaust, and obviously this aftermarket paint job, once given it a clean, I really think it's going to be nice and shiny. I can't see any dents, I can't see any scratches. The interior is pretty much pristine. There's a few bits and pieces that need to be put back together. It was quite a funny story actually. When the guy dropped it off to me, and in the advert he said that driver's side window needed to be put in place. So imagine my shock when I just lifted up the switch and the driver's side glass actually appeared. But there's also bits and pieces like this, the boot release and the fuel flap release, not actually in place. However, the seats are in really good condition. There's no rips, there's no tears, there's no stains. The mileage is only 133,000 kilometers. Obviously, there's going to be a mixture of miles and kilometers. I would have to try and find out when the clocks had changed. However, that's still a really low mileage, obviously, for this year of car. Steering wheel's not in bad condition. Like I say, the rest of the interior is really, really clean. It smells quite nice in here. It doesn't smell old. Obviously, being a Japanese import, there's not going to be much rust on the body either. So this is a really, really good starting point. So obviously, with this being a Japanese import model, the rust on the bodywork is pretty much non-existent. I know it's been in the UK since 2005, I believe. So there is a little bit of rust starting to appear. There's a little bit here, and then these little spots here, but there's literally nothing on the other side, which is really, really good, obviously, for a Toyota MR2 of this age. So with that in mind, I'm in two minds whether to try and keep the standard 3S GE engine or go for the full turbo swap and go 3S GTE. Obviously, with it being a Japanese import tin top model, I think this would be a really good project to put a 3S GTE engine in. Depends on whether I can find one for a decent enough price. The entire kit, including ECU, gearbox, everything that I want to bolt it straight in. If I can, then I might. However, I'm not making any promises. I would love to do that, so I have to see what happens with regards to the TT. So as I was saying, hopefully once we know what's going on with the Audi TT and I can get that running issue sorted or replace the engine, we can then get that for sale. Once I've got that up for sale, I can then start to concentrate on this new toy that I've picked up. This car has not had an MOT since 2007 and it's just been left sitting. It looks as though it's had a full respray at some point and it's still in really good condition. However, I popped a battery on and it started straight away. It just blew me away. I cannot believe that the car this age has been standing for so long starts and runs absolutely faultlessly. So not only have I got the MR2 now, but I've also got some more news going forward. The Mark 6 Transit that I have is now going to be replaced by a Mercedes Sprinter. I know it's kind of backwards after I've just spent all that time and effort turning it into a day van for race weekends. However, the Sprinter is obviously twice the size of the Mark 6 Transit, and I can actually do a full camper van conversion in the back of it. It was something that I wanted ever since I started racing, and hopefully after Brands Hatch, so the next meeting, after we get that out of the way, I should be able to Partex my van for this Sprinter and start converting that as well. So we've got loads of jobs coming up going forward. However, next week, what we're going to be doing is getting the race car prepped for Brands Hatch again. There's a few little jobs that I need to get done. There was a few bits that happened during Snetterton that I now need to replace. I've got both rear discs, which actually come with the wheel bearings. I'm pretty sure that the near side rear wheel bearing collapsed during the last couple of laps of Snetterton. Also, the drive shaft on the driver's side front popped off and just sprayed grease absolutely everywhere, all inside the wheel, up the arch. So I've bought 2 new drive shafts. Good to have spares as well. So I've bought 2 new drive shafts. I'm going to quickly replace the one on the driver's side front, the one which has popped off the seal. But then whilst we're there, I will repack that one with grease and put a Jubilee clip on it so it doesn't pop off again. So we do have 2 good spares going forward. Other than that, I'm pretty sure that the car should be good as new. I've just had All Square Chassis Setup come and do a full geometry setup on the Clio. You may have seen on Instagram, there's quite a few pictures on there now. So going forward, hopefully to Brands Hatch, the car is now going to be completely planted. We'll get rid of any wheel spinning issues that I had, especially at Snetterton. I'd come out of Brundle or any slow corner, I'd go onto the power and it would just light up the wheels. So hopefully that's now eradicated that. We did make quite a few setup changes and I'm really pleased with how the car now looks. It looks really flat, really stable, and hopefully that's now cured some of the issues we had around Snetterton. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Brands. So like I say, the next episode we will start prepping for Brands Hatch. But until then, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.